Now, a good way to tell that these are done is that you've probably had to save up for a couple of years. Okay, you're going to want to take it off the heat at that point, but make sure it's cooked all the way through, because these things, they're premium and they take a while to cook properly. So let's lift this over to our serving area and make sure you've got your oven gloves, because this is piping hot at this point. And let's move the Simucube over to our serving dish like that. Very heavy, so be careful when you place it down. And once you're happy with that, you're going to want to take your Asher racing wheel that we prepared earlier and just slide that on like so, nice and gently. That looks about right. That's perfect. That we've got our long bolt fries that we cooked earlier. Now, you get these, you can get creative and stack them up, but I like to just chuck them on, be a bit rough and ready with it. So just grab these, pop them next to the wheel there like so. That's brilliant. And these, nice way to garnish the dish at the end. Some grated washers, and you can pick these up at any good sim racing superstore like rdshop.com, which totally exists. And all you're going to want to do is just drop them on at a height. Just garnish the dish lovely. That's going to be absolutely beautiful. They've covered the wheel there. That is fantastic. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Simucube a la Asher racing wheel. But no sim racing wheel of this quality is going to go on any old rig, and this needs a cockpit to match. So I'm going to hand over to our resident sommelier, Simon Thornton James, to see what he pairs with this dish. Thanks, James, and we're here at Waddesdon Manor in Buckinghamshire. It's the home of one of the biggest manor houses in Europe, and also home to one of the biggest wine cellars in Europe too. But we're not here for the wine. I've found a perfect match for your Simucube wheel.
Today, James, I've selected a 2021 vintage all the way from Australia. It's the Next Level Racing FGT Elite Cockpit. Aluminium profile, multiple seating positions and a sturdy body. Everything I look for in a good cockpit. A truly fabulous match for your delicious dish.
Hey guys, and welcome to this, the first look at the new Next Level Racing FGT Elite. Now, you might recognise this as the iRacing Special Edition cockpit that we teased on Race Department a few months ago. Well, this one we've got here is the Next Level Racing branded version of that cockpit. Now, before we get into any of the details, I just wanted to let you know that Next Level Racing have provided this on long-term loan for us. So we'll be doing a long-term review of it over the next few months. But they haven't paid us for this. They haven't paid us to say anything in particular. So all of these views are my own. So when Cam, the marketing manager from Next Level Racing, got in touch with me to talk about this product, I have to admit, and I'm sorry Cam, I was a little bit underwhelmed, because he was all excited about this new aluminium profile cockpit that was coming out, and I was thinking that's all the world needs is another aluminium profile cockpit. But he was telling me about all the things we're going to make this different, that we're going to make this special, and I've heard that before from a lot of manufacturers, so the jury was out. But I started to pay attention when he started showing me some pictures of the thing, and I have to say, it looks pretty good. And this thing is striking, to say the least. I mean, it's clearly aluminium profile, but it looks the absolute part, and that's because of the attention to detail that Next Level Racing have gone to make this product stand out from other products in its class. Things like the anodized wheel mounts and the custom end caps and the wheel stand mounts and that aggressive shear angle. That's when you start to realize that this is a little bit different. So there's something that we have to address right off the bat, and that's the price. This thing isn't cheap. It comes in at £999 here in the UK, and I know what you're thinking. You can get some plans and some aluminium profile off of a site like Facebook for a few £100, and yeah, you can do that, and those things are pretty good. But this is the question, isn't it? Is this worth the additional outlay versus something like that, or indeed another product in its class from another manufacturer? Well, that's what we're here to find out, so let's have a look. First thing you'll notice when you get this product home is the packaging. And yes, it comes in a nice pretty retail packaging with all the information on the box, but more importantly, it comes in a polystyrene mold. Good for the environment? Probably not, but great for ensuring that your kit gets home unscathed. But more importantly still is all the parts are laid out in the order that you need them, and that's a really nice touch, especially for someone like me who struggles to put together even the simplest of IKEA flat packs. Now, I can't stress this enough, I'm absolutely useless at putting stuff like this together, and I know I'm not the only one, because Bram, the founder of RaceDepartment, struggled so badly with his aluminium profile rig, he had to call someone to come and put it together for him. Thankfully, not with this kit, because this instruction manual is probably the best I've seen in any sim racing product. All of the diagrams are really easy to follow, it's very clear, and there's even a QR code that links to a video that shows you how to put the product together. Very nice. Now, this thing is designed for precision, and in maybe some cases a bit too precise, because I did struggle with just a couple of these T-nuts, gliding them down the channels, and in one case it scratched the beautiful matte finish of this profile. Arguably wouldn't notice that on cheap profile, but on this it showed up straight away. Now, it probably was user error, because all of these other T-nuts, they glide perfectly, so I could have probably just swapped out another T-nut, but I was too committed at that point and too excited to get this thing up and running, but thought it was worth mentioning. On the flip side though, one thing that I absolutely loved about this build are these laser etched lines that you find on all the important parts of this rig, like these wheel stand columns. It enables you to precisely match the parts on both sides, so you can get up and running pretty quickly. And yes, a tape measure would do that job, but if you're like me, you just want to unbox things, get things working as quickly as possible, and this is a great little touch. Now, I touched on design earlier, and as someone with a design background, I can't help but be blown away by how this thing looks. Make no mistake, Next Level have knocked it out of the park on this one. This looks absolutely incredible. If this was a car, we would be comparing it to something like a McLaren or Ferrari. It's that level of finish. Things like the treatment to the aluminium profile when you don't scratch it is absolutely exquisite. The anodized wheel mounts look beautiful, and the custom end caps, they're designed to match the angle of the wheel stand columns. Now, if design is something that's important to you, you're absolutely going to love this cockpit. Another neat design feature of this product is the seating positions, and this is called the FGT Elite for a reason. The F stands for Formula and GT stands for, well, GT. Now, if you choose the Formula seating position, you're going to be practically lying down with your feet in the air, and GT is going to be a lot more upright GT style. But there is a third mode, and that's called hybrid, and that's kind of a mix between the two. And that's what I've opted for, because I like to try different sims and different cars. And honestly, this seating position just feels perfect for me. If you did want to change the seating position though, it's just a case of removing some bolts and moving them around on the seat, the same on the pedal deck, and just moving them around accordingly until you've got the right seating position. So as well as being able to move the pedals and the seat, you can also move the angle of the wheel, and you can see that here on this mount. That groove is just all tilt angle, and these columns are pretty tall too, so you're going to be able to dial in your perfect seating position. One thing that I'm not massively keen on is this two-part wheelbase, and it's not because it's not sturdy. I mean, the thing doesn't move. This is rigid as hell, really strong, but it's just a little bit fiddly to get in exactly the right position. An example of that would be, I thought I'd got it right. I needed to move it up just one notch on these etched lines, or a centimetre, and doing so took way longer than it should do. In my previous rig, it was just a flat bar that sit across the two columns. That worked quite well, and I'm not sure if this has to be this way because of the tilting of the wheelbase, which we spoke about. So maybe an issue, may not be for some, but for me, just a minor gripe. Like I was just mentioning with the wheel plate, this entire rig is incredibly strong, incredibly rigid. And I don't really know the best way to demonstrate it, but you're just going to have to take my word for it that this thing just does not move. Really well built, very impressed. I think it's fair to say I like this product, and actually I love it. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. There are some things that I wish were considered or included, and the first one is, for the price, I wish there was some sort of monitor integration included in the box. And on my previous aluminium profile rig, I was using this SimLab single monitor stand integration, and I thought I'd be able to whip that off my old rig and attach it to the side here, but because of the angle of these wheel stand columns, the monitor was way too far forward, so I had to figure something else out. But look, maybe that's unfair comparing another competitor's product on this, but I just thought it would be worth mentioning. The next thing is a bit of an edge case, but I don't want anyone else to make the same mistake. So after my failed attempt with my SimLabs bracket, I had to go and buy a monitor stand. So I went and bought a Next Level Racing stand thinking it's next level, no problem at all. Problem is it doesn't fit, it's not wide enough. So I've had to bodge it. And the way I've done that is I haven't tightened it up properly. So it's actually a wobbly disaster waiting to happen. And it scares me every time I'm looking at it really. But I'm waiting for a Next Level Racing solution, and there is a monitor stand from Next Level Racing for the Elite, but it comes in at a whopping £349. So I think I'm going to wait and see what they do if there's some sort of integrated system before I make any more moves. Okay, so one thing we haven't really spoken about yet is the seat, and that's technically because it's a separate product. This is the ES1 Sim Racing seat from Next Level Racing, and it too comes in at £349. What do I think of it? Well, it's nice. It's a good seat. I don't know if it's the seat that I would choose. I prefer something that's a bit more padded, a bit more like a gamer chair, especially for those longer endurance races. There's not much padding on here, and I kind of feel like this is really designed for a car. This is what you'd see in a proper race car. Looks cool, but they're meant to be lightweight, compact. It's not really what a sim racer needs. Not saying that this isn't the right choice for you, but maybe not for me. There's one other really glaring problem with this, and that's I'm 6'3" and I don't actually fit in it. My head comes right to the edge of this cushion, and it's not uncomfortable, it's just distracting. And when you're racing bumper to bumper, those distractions are amplified. And yeah, I don't know, the jury's out on this one. I will follow up with a long-term review of this seat on RaceDepartment.com, so make sure you check that out. One last thing on the seat, and more accurately the thing that the seat's attached to. I really would like to have seen some rails included here, and I'm not saying that the solution that Next Level Racing have gone for isn't any good. I just think rails are more convenient. Don't know about you guys, but sim racing's become a lot popular over the last year or so, and my friends have been coming around wanting to try the rig, and being able to slide a seat back and forward on rails is really convenient. Again, don't know if this is really an issue, don't know if it'll affect anyone else, I just thought it was worth mentioning. So who's this product for? Well, the price is going to rule out a huge chunk of the market, but I don't think that Next Level Racing are aiming for the masses here. They've got products that do that already. No, this is for people who want a no compromise, beautifully designed rig. And that's arguably as valuable as the mass market. So to give you one example of why I think this is the case, this comes with all the parts you need to convert this into a motion rig, and that's who this is aimed at. People who have the space and the budget to turn this into a bloody motion rig. So Next Level Racing have gone to quite some lengths to make sure that this is as user-friendly as possible, and that starts with when you open the box with everything in its right place, through to all the included tools that you get, like this little ratchet thing. I didn't have one of these beforehand, I do now, so that's brilliant. All the way through to finishing the build, it's really straightforward. And that's, I think, the value in this product, as well as the design and the build quality. That's all great, but it's also the support that you get. So things like the really clear instructions, the how-to videos, the laser etched lines on all of these parts to make sure that you can get everything precise. And I also hear that they've got some pretty good customer service as well. But all of that stuff doesn't come for free. So that's why these products are priced the way that they are. So to conclude our first look at this Next Level Racing FGT Elite Cockpit, what do I think of it? Well, I love it. In fact, I think it's probably one of the best sim racing products I've ever used. Would I buy one? Yeah, if I had the money, but realistically, I don't think my budget would ever stretch that far for a cockpit. But if you're in the market for a no compromise, really well built, beautifully designed aluminium profile cockpit, your money would be very well spent here. But that's it for now. Make sure you check our long-term review on RaceDepartment.com, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.